Minecraft is one of the calmest games ever made. You build, you explore, and sometimes you even forget you're alone. Though every once in a while, something happens. Something that reminds you that this game isn't always just a game, and if you handle it wrong, you won't get a second chance. Have you ever made a mistake that seemed small, only to realize that it could cost you your life? Well, I have. A few weeks ago, I was casually playing Minecraft, just a normal single-player world. I was recording for my second channel, just trying to beat the game, but near the end of that video, something happened. Something that pulled me into the darkest 12 hours of my life. Because it wasn't just fear, I was under watch, under constant tracking, and I realized I might be the next one to disappear, just like Axel and Noah. And it all began with this recording. I started this Minecraft world to beat the game, and I was just in this village, which was pretty close by to my base. The first 4 minutes were uneventful, almost mundane. But then, as I was heading back... That would be funny. Yeah, okay, I gotta return back home. This is just getting too far. Oh, wait. I might get a music disc here. Wait, what? Someone joined my game. For a brief moment, I didn't recognize who this was. Then something clicked. Wait, someone joined NP? NullPath? NullPath. That name shouldn't even exist anymore. Not after everything that happened before. Yet here it was in my single-player world. But they didn't come here by accident. They came with a message.
Starthork, you have pressed the wrong button. NullPath will return.
Just 2 lines and they left without any explanation. But those words hit harder than anything else could. Because if that message was real, it meant that NullPath survived. It meant I didn't end it. It meant everything I thought I understood, everything I'd buried was still out there. And at that moment I realized that I wasn't the documenter anymore. I was the target. Wait, but what happened to Axel and Noah? Did the kill switch even work? And most importantly, how is NullPath back? These questions were spinning in my head, and the longer I stared at that message, the more it felt like something had gone horribly wrong. So I deleted the world, not out of fear, well, okay, maybe a little, but mostly because it didn't feel like a game anymore. It felt like I just opened a door that was supposed to stay shut. I told myself I'd take a break, step back and clear my head, but I didn't. Around 20 minutes after everything went down, I loaded up a new Minecraft world. I wasn't building a base or anything, just smelting some stuff, trying to keep it normal. For a few minutes it actually felt like nothing strange was happening. I started to breathe a little easier. But that calm didn't last too long, as nothing could have prepared me for what came next. Out of nowhere, NPZHT joined my world again. This time, instead of words, they sent me a string of dashes and dots, Morse code. I quickly asked who they were, even brought up how they had shown up in my last world. But it seemed like my message went unanswered, because instead of answering, they gave me this.
This is something I must leave you with.
This NP guy leaves the game again, but I was already feeling a serious knot in my gut. I didn't even want to decode the Morse, because I knew where it would lead me. Down a rabbit hole so deep it might swallow me whole. But of course, I did it anyway. I plugged in the Morse into the translator and it revealed a YouTube link. Clicking it took me to an unlisted video on Axel's channel. I had no idea what was inside, but one look at the title sent chills straight through me.
This is for you, Starthork. Confidential, for internal use only. Unauthorized distribution is a violation of NullPath protocol. This message is for your awareness.
When I saw this, I froze. NullPath had responded. They knew I tried to stop them and now they were watching me. I didn't think they'd actually do it, not this fast. But instead of hiding in the shadows like before, they went straight for my channel. This wasn't just some leftover bot or archive. It was deliberate.
The concept of erasure is a flawed notion. The systems are designed to adapt, evolve, and persist. Your actions have led to the mistaken assumption that you have achieved success. However, you have not disabled NullPath.
I thought it was over. The kill switch, the USB, like all of it. I really believed we shut them down. But something didn't add up. So I did what anyone would do. I paused the video and went back to Noah's final upload and activated the kill switch again. I thought maybe it just needed to be triggered one more time. But when I came back to finish the rest of the video, I heard something that made my gut drop.
You believed that activating the kill switch would sever NullPath's connection, that it would stop us. In truth, the kill switch was never designed for that purpose. The kill switch is, and always was, a means of tracking, a false hope for those who would attempt to dismantle us.
The kill switch wasn't real. It was never meant to shut down anything. It was a decoy, a tracker, disguised as a way out. And the second I activated it, something was installed on my system. Something that let them see me. And if that's true, I wasn't just watching NullPath. They were watching me. But what unsettled me the most was this.
Contrary to what you may have believed, violators Axel and Noah were never removed. They were not erased as you expected. Instead, they were handed over to the appropriate redacted for further testing.
Axel and Noah are alive. They were never saved though. The escape never happened. I messaged Noah's mother hoping for anything, a sign they made it home, or even just a text, but she said he's still missing. No activity, no location. His phone just went silent. And in the same video, NullPath confirmed what I was afraid of. They're not just keeping them there, they're preparing them for something. Something called testing. I watched it again and again, and every time I knew, if I don't step in, if I don't figure this out, I don't think they'll make it out alive. But let's rewind for a second. Where did this all go wrong? The USB drive was originally accessed by Noah. He was the one who gave us the link to the supposed kill switch. And sure, it could be real, but something about it always felt off. In his final video, Noah said that he and Axel had no time left, so what if he panicked? What if in those last moments he sent the wrong link without realizing it? Right or wrong, the truth is I had no idea if we ever had a real shot at dismantling NullPath. Not properly. Another odd thing is that this video was posted to Axel's channel, which doesn't make sense unless NullPath somehow gained access to his account. It's unsettling but not impossible. Axel's been trapped inside their system for who knows how long. Maybe they've had control over everything. Still trying to move forward, I decided to check the video description, retracing the same steps we followed in the first NullPath investigation, and right away something felt off. There are some eerie things in this description. Axel Cameron and associated personnel including Redacted, who is possibly Noah, seem to be completely helpless at this point. We also noticed this. Communications from unauthorized external sources were intercepted and reviewed. This is pretty frightening. It means NullPath was monitoring their conversations, which probably involved private messages. But just a little further down, buried beneath the important notice section, something caught my eye. One of the entries didn't match the rest. It wasn't labeled. It wasn't a message, it was just a long scrambled block of characters. And instantly I knew what it was. Base 64. NullPath has used it before, and the moment I saw it, I didn't hesitate. I copied the entire string, dropped it into a decoder, and waited. What came out was simple, a Reddit link. But the second I saw it, I knew it wasn't random. It wasn't leftover data or a broken clue. This was placed here on purpose. Someone wanted this to be found. So I clicked, and what it held is something extremely important. The Reddit post just showed one image, a screenshot.
NullPath-MDS. This section of NP document section 12 is classified and restricted to authorized NullPath operatives and Tier 1 government personnel only. Unauthorized access will be traced, recorded, and prosecuted under Directive 7.4.
Okay, what? We have no clue what this actually means. All it really tells us is that something abnormal is going on here. What is the MDS? Why is it even here? It's even weirder considering the fact that the Reddit account is just an ordinary one. Not even a mention of NullPath's nay. Oh wait, it's NPZHT's account. Either way, this post was completely useless until I saw this, another base 64 sequence. Without a second thought, I decoded this and it gave me this string of text, which clearly didn't look like much. This was confusing to decode though. So after a lot of trial and error, I decided to split the URL in two after the equal signs, and that did make it quite easier to see. I thought of flipping the sequence and arranging it better, and it looked close to a link of some sort, but I was definitely missing something because no matter what I tried, it didn't work. As a final effort, I tried flipping it again and fixing some mistakes to see this. I pasted the link into Google and was hit with this, a login screen.
MDS Secure Terminal.
But I had a problem. I had no idea what the password was. I tried the same password that Noah had given us for the fake kill switch, but it didn't really work. And it actually revealed that I only had 3 tries. Okay, it's time to take things seriously. Maybe the username of the guy who kept joining my world, NPZHT, would work. Oh, it didn't work either. Oh gosh, I only have 1 try left now. I couldn't think of anything else, so I hopped back into Minecraft just hoping to find something. And surprisingly I did. I found a notebook. Inside there was this, NP_1. This will come in handy for you. I didn't know who left it there, but the only person who made sense too was Noah. I didn't stop to think about it, I just typed it in and it worked. But once I saw what was inside, I realized I was in too deep. This changes everything we knew about NullPath itself.
NullPath Division. Classified Archive. Access Level 7B. Unauthorized access will be tracked. Origin. The Metaphysical Department of Sciences, MDS, is a covert government entity operating beyond national jurisdiction. Publicly, MDS focuses on quantum and consciousness research. Privately, it funds and oversees NullPath, a specialized unit investigating metaphysical information states.
The MDS, the Metaphysical Department of Sciences, they are the ones behind all of this. And if that name sounds familiar, it should. It's appeared before in a completely different ARG that Wifies covered a while ago, but now it turns out NullPath is just one of their subdivisions, and maybe the most dangerous one. What NullPath does is downright disturbing, monitoring digital environments for signs of metaphysical instability, extracting cognitive blueprints through gameplay exposure, digitally replicating neurological identities for testing, and storing subjects as metaphysical constructs for advanced modeling, all of which seem completely unrelated to how this all began, just a simple hunt for a USB drive. But once you realize what NullPath really does behind the scenes, that USB starts to feel like a thread leading into something much bigger and darker. We see Axel and Noah's names again, but this time what's written next to them is so much more unsettling. Axel is reportedly being housed in something called the Metaphysical Sandbox System. He's being used as a template in experiments for post-body replication. Noah, on the other hand, is undergoing something called loop memory degradation stress trials. At this point, it's clear that they are not okay. They are trapped, and they are probably suffering. However, that isn't all I found. Apparently, the decoy kill switch is also designed to trigger location and identity tracking. And unbeknownst to me, the NullPath website had opened another tab.
Tracing activated.
This site had everything, information I never gave to anyone. My session ID, my location region, and even my monetization backend. Details that shouldn't even be accessible outside of YouTube's own systems. Though I didn't even have the time to process, because at the same time I got a notification on my phone. And oh no, not my channel.
NullPath 18 USC Section 1203. Please monitor for upcoming notifications. Compliance is expected. Notice, the account identified as Starthork has been flagged under Protocol ZE to 94ths under NullPath Section 22 of Distribution. Administrative restrictions are now in effect. Attempts to re-access the account or communicate with the account owner will result in system-wide repercussions. All digital operations have been temporarily suspended for investigation under the oversight of the redacted. Details of the investigation remain classified.
My channel got hacked immediately, locked out of everything in seconds, and no matter what I tried, resetting passwords, emailing support, digging through recovery options, nothing worked. It was like they had already prepared for this, like the moment I opened that site, someone was watching, waiting, and the second I triggered the wrong thing, they took control. But here's what I don't understand. Why would the link to this classified NullPath system be buried inside a Reddit post? Why would an organization that clearly operates on high-level secrecy just leak their connection to the Metaphysical Department of Sciences out in the open like that? It doesn't make sense unless it wasn't NullPath who posted it, unless it was someone on the inside trying to send a message. And if that's true, then the only person who could have done something like that, the only one who would even know how to insert a leak like this into the system from the inside, has to be Noah. He's the only one who might still have access, who could be trapped somewhere in their systems trying to reach out without getting caught. I didn't know what to do. I just sat there for a while, staring at the error messages and login failures like they'd suddenly just go away. And eventually I needed a break. I needed to clear my head and do something normal. So I launched Minecraft just to escape for a few minutes. And that's when everything started to elevate.
Alright, I'm just gonna fully chop down this tree because it's annoying me. My channel just got hacked and I have no idea what to do. Maybe I need some gravel. Oh, not him again.
NPZHT joins my world again, but this time I came prepared. You see, I got curious to what his name actually was and I ran it through a Cipher decoder, which gave me this, Sam. So I typed to him in chat, "Hey Sam," and he replied with this.
How do you know my name?
I told him that it's simple Cipher, and weirdly enough, he seemed to be impressed for some reason. However, about 10 seconds later, he drops this.
I stopped them from tracking you.
Excuse me? I checked the tracing website and it still seemed to be tracking me. But wait, it actually stopped? This guy works for NullPath, right? Like, isn't he one of the bad guys? Why would he stop them? Before I can even process that, he says,
I'm not sure if you know me, but I'm the one who tried to unlock the USB in the video you covered.
Hold on. If you remember the NullPath video where they tried to get into the drive, we noticed this section in the description.
This video documents the successful retrieval of USB A13 redacted by an unidentified high-ranking NullPath operative.
If what I'm hearing is right, Sam is the unidentified high-ranking NullPath operative. It doesn't make sense for him to tell me this, right? But that is not the craziest part.
In reality, I never tried to unlock it. I locked it on purpose.
Sam intentionally locked the drive. I asked him why he did that. It didn't make sense at all. If NullPath found out, they'd erase him on the spot. Instead, he decides to tell us this.
Well, the USB is not just anything. I watched your video, and in the final part, Noah opened something which held certain files that are in a USB, but it's not the USB.
I was completely thrown off. For so long, we were convinced that the footage we saw, the one showing Noah accessing the USB, was the actual thing. That this was the infamous drive that NullPath had been chasing. But according to Sam, it was never the original. It was just another one holding entirely different files. All this time, we were looking at the wrong thing. The real USB was still out there. He goes on to explain that he got the actual USB during the retrieval, which, yeah, pretty much confirms he was part of the op that kidnapped Axel. But one thing was now certain. Axel had the real USB, the actual one NullPath had been trying to recover. The question is how? How did a regular guy, someone who just played Minecraft with his friend, end up with something that a covert organization was desperate to control? That's what we'd been trying to figure out this entire time. No clues, just Axel and a USB he was never supposed to have. Until Sam finally gave us the answer, and what he told me changed everything.
The main reason Axel had the drive was because his father used to work for NullPath.
Axel's father used to work for NullPath, and not just that, he was apparently part of a project named VOX. And according to Sam, he ran when he discovered what NullPath was planning. All these things are crucial information we learned. However, I wanted to ask him something. Where are Axel and Noah right now? Sam tells us that they are still in the facility, though they will be taken for testing by the MDS tomorrow. I need to get them out somehow. I need to. These guys didn't deserve to be put through all of this. But I needed one more thing, one more important question to ask from Sam. What was on the original drive? Although without responding to my question, he left the game saying this.
NP will get here soon. Just get access to your accounts again.
He left me with a link to get my accounts back. And at first, I thought that this was another trap by NullPath, like they were trying to lock me down for good. I mean, Sam is a high-ranked operative. Why would he betray them? But looking back at our whole interaction, it's way more likely he's on our side. All those strange links and info we weren't meant to see were probably set up by Sam, not Noah. It makes more sense, especially since Noah is literally stuck in the facility. So yeah, Sam could very well be working against NullPath from the inside. I plugged in the link and was shocked. I actually got an upper hand for the first time. There were some info from other victims they still had access to, but I didn't want to mess with that as it would probably make things worse. I just made sure NullPath lost access to my accounts, so we're okay, at least for now. I needed a break. Everything had been spiraling so fast, and just seeing the name NullPath made me feel sick. But that break didn't last. A friend messaged me, telling me something strange. A video had been posted to my alternative YouTube account. It was public but quickly made private. I checked immediately and indeed he wasn't joking. There was a video, NullPath.mp4.
The following footage is property of the Metaphysical Department of Sciences. Watch at your own risk. NullPath-OVR.sys, access level Z894ths, file ID 2203 act trace, distribution redacted, subject Starthork.
This video felt different. It wasn't some cryptic message or vague threat. This time I wasn't just watching from the outside. I was the subject. They mentioned plans to issue an order to my country's government, which, yeah, was terrifying on its own. But what they said next, that's what changed everything.
NullPath internal operative activity suggests a potential breach. Investigating link to USB drive.ax data. Subject still active. Digital presence not neutralized. Recommend full data wipe on next trace attempt. This incident is under review by the Metaphysical Department of Sciences. Compliance is not optional.
They are going to wipe all of my data completely on their next trace attempt. Everything we did only bought time, and that time is almost gone. I needed answers. It was clear as day NullPath wasn't going to stop. They'd do whatever it takes to get what they want. So I took a risk. I started digging through every single video description line, hoping they slipped, and found something. Buried under the first NullPath video, we see this. I ran it through every cipher I could think of. Rotation 1, 2, 3, nothing. 4, 5, 6, still nothing. But at rotation 13, there it was. metaphysicaldepartmentofsciences.com/NullPath. This was it, my way in. I typed out the link and it led me to this login screen. I didn't really want to do this, but I typed out Sam's username, npzht. And for the password, I believed it was hidden under this video. And it was. I pressed access and was shown this. We see what I believe is Axel's father's name, Christian Cameron, and more information that we didn't know before.
Warning, opening this archive auto-triggers facility-wide unlock and purge of containment subjects.
From what I understand, Axel, Noah, and all the other subjects NullPath is holding would be freed if we do something with the original USB, but we still don't know if there's a kill switch or not. Leaving this section aside, I wanted to move on to the other two, and this was something I never wish I read. They have an operation called Erasure of Starthork, and what they plan to do to me is straight up disturbing. They want to erase me, not just online, but physically too. That's way beyond anything I expected. How, you may ask?
Global Operative Network. Each country maintains one NullPath/MDS dual assigned operative. Operative embedded under MDS cover. Disguised mission delivery system. Scheduled physical delivery within local jurisdiction.
They're sending someone to my house, disguised as a delivery. This operative, codenamed Searchlight, is meant to get inside without raising suspicion. I told you NullPath would go far, but this is way beyond what I expected. My life is straight up threatened. Time passed with absolutely nothing happening, and around 4 hours later, I decided to open up Minecraft again. I got onto my world and Sam joined immediately, but I wasn't expecting him to say this.
I will stay online, but we are in huge trouble.
I went still, then I asked him why, but all he did was ask me to check the tracing site. I opened up the site and somehow they had started tracking me again. But wait, they're going to contact the government for immediate erasure. I was definitely freaking out, but managed to stay calm enough to ask Sam what was he doing in the past 4 hours. He tells me that he was in the middle of an important delivery. I ask Sam if he can reblock the tracking and just stop it, but as if everything was just falling apart, he says this.
I cannot block whatever lies ahead. It's either the erasure of you or NullPath's dismantle itself.
It was clear that I only had one mission right now, dismantle NullPath somehow. But how? I asked Sam the exact question. However, he told me this instead.
NP, the main official of NullPath, is impatient and he wants to get done with erasing you before the time runs out.
Great, another problem. NP, the same guy who forced Noah to bait Axel into NullPath's hands, wants me gone faster than the timer in just 1 hour and 30 minutes. I had absolutely no hope anymore and asked Sam for something, but he left me with a link and logged out of the game. It was almost 2 AM when this happened and I couldn't wait any longer. I plugged in the link Sam sent me and it took me to another NullPath site. There was some information there and my name encoded in Cipher was scheduled for today. If they were going to make their move, it was happening now. But how do I dismantle NullPath? Sam was clearly asking me to do it, but I had no access to anything. Time was running out and my life was on the line. I logged back into Minecraft again and thankfully Sam was already there, but no matter what I tried, he wouldn't respond. I was running out of time, there was no more room to be AFK. I kept spamming chat telling Sam that I hacked into NullPath's website using his account and I saw everything that they were planning. I told him that they were gonna send the one official as a delivery driver to erase me, but his only response was an "Is that so?" I asked him one last time for help, only for him to drop this.
Axel, Noah, and everyone can be safe if you dismantle NullPath.
I was just confused at this point. How do I dismantle NullPath? Time was seriously running out. There were only 24 minutes left on the timer. I kept calling for Sam in chat just to get nothing. What if this was a plan all along? My mind raced with doubts. Was Sam playing me? Was this all a trap to waste my time so NullPath could close in? The paranoia was suffocating. Then, right at 6 minutes left, Sam finally joined the game. I kept trying to talk to him, but no response. 5 minutes left, still nothing. 4 minutes and I was starting to panic. I felt completely powerless. Searchlight could be at my door any second. 3 minutes left, my hands were shaking. Nothing had happened yet. Then, at exactly 2 minutes and 18 seconds remaining, Sam says this.
If he's dressed in yellow, open the door immediately. If he's dressed in purple, run for your life and hide.
What does he mean? How does... Run for your life and hide? What do you mean? I have no idea what... Wait... The doorbell rang. I peeked through the peephole and saw someone dressed in yellow. Without hesitation, I opened the door. He handed me a small package and left without saying a single word. Alright, I just got a package and I'm trying to open it. Wait, Sam said something about just got a small package. I sent the original USB on the 12th of May. Go decipher it. Wait, don't tell me. This is the original one? No way. I got the USB drive, the real thing. Sam tells me he shipped out the original USB to me on the 12th of May, only 2 days after I uploaded my coverage. But there was no time to dwell on that. I plugged in the drive and immediately was hit with this. I needed a password. There was only a minute and 40 seconds left, so I took a gamble. I went and watched the video on Axel's channel and found something I forgot to pay attention to. Morse code. If you listen to this, you can hear some sound behind the words. Thankfully, I had recorded this video before, so I went into a Morse decoder and plugged it in. It gave me this. I thought it would work on its own, but I was wrong. I ran it through cipher shifts, desperation mounting. At shift 77 though, something clicked. It looked right. But why 77? And what about the dash at the end? Something was still missing. I added 77 to the end of the password, just hoping it would work. No. I had one last try left, but I knew there had to be something more to this 77. 20 seconds were left. Then it hit me. OX77. That's their most secure vault. Could that be it? I typed it into the end of the line, and